Hello there, everybody. Welcome to 10 PMI-PBA practice questions. In this video, we're going to be covering Chapter 2, the BA environment. So the source of truth for all of these is going to be the PMI Guide to Business Analysis, which is where the majority of your questions are going to come from for the exam. So let's go ahead and get into it. So question number 1. What is the primary focus of business analysis according to the PMI guide? Is it the project, the product, the process, or the stakeholders? Now, the hint that I'm going to give you guys as you are taking this exam is that if you have any choice that is related to the product versus the project, the answer in this case is always going to be related to the product. So our correct answer here is B. B is correct because the guide explicitly states that the primary focus of business analysis is the product. A is incorrect because it contrasts business analysis with project management. C is incorrect because while processes are important in business analysis, they are not the primary focus for us. And because D is incorrect because although stakeholders are crucial, they're not the primary focus for us, okay? So if you get a question that has the product as a choice, that is going to be the correct answer as you guys move forward with this exam. Okay, we're going to have a case study question here. Sarah is a business analyst working on a new product development project in a highly regulated industry. The project team is geographically dispersed. It's probably going to be an important piece of information here for us. And the organization has recently shifted to using a more adaptive project lifecycle. This is a reminder that PMI will use adaptive to typically mean the agile methodology. Given this scenario, which of the following statements is most likely true about how Sarah will conduct business analysis? So our options here are Sarah should ignore regulatory requirements to focus on adaptive methods. Sarah needs to consider how regulations, team distributions, and adaptive methods will impact her approach. She should only use traditional methods or predictive business analysis methods. And the adaptive life cycle means Sarah doesn't need to document any requirement. So in this case, our correct answer here is going to be B. B is correct because the scenario presents multiple enterprise environmental factors that Sarah needs to consider. So EEFs is going to be something that will pop up in a bunch of questions on your exam. And you don't need to memorize them, but you need to be familiar with them, like the regulatory environment, geographical distribution, and how the shift and the shift to the adaptive life cycle. A is incorrect because regulatory requirements can't be ignored. C is incorrect because while regulations might require some formal documentation, the shift to adaptive methods suggests a blend of approaches that might be appropriate. And D is incorrect because even in adaptive life cycles, some level of documentation is typically necessary. That is going to be definitely important for you guys. Don't get tripped up and think that you don't need any documentation when using an adaptive method. Okay, now we've got XYZ Corporation is implementing a new customer relationship management system. The business analysis Tom is trying to elicit requirements from various stakeholders. He's finding that the sales team is enthusiastic and available, but the customer service team is resistant and often unavailable for meetings. Which of the following best describes the challenge Tom is facing and how he should address it? This is a normal situation. Tom should proceed with only the sales team's input. Tom is facing insufficient collaboration due to organizational systems and should work with the project manager to navigate this challenge. Tom should escalate this to senior management and demand the customer services team participation. Tom should abandon the project as it's impossible to proceed without full stakeholder participation. So the correct answer here is going to be B. So if we're facing insufficient collaboration due to the way that our organization is set up, or any other of the enterprise environmental factors, we should work alongside of our project manager to help navigate this challenge. We simply can't abandon this project just because people aren't getting back to us. Escalation is typically not going to be something that we want to do. PMI encourages us to take action. So our correct answer here is going to be to work with the project manager as much as we can to overcome this situation. A is incorrect because proceeding without input from key stakeholder groups could lead to incomplete, flawed solution. We don't want to move forward unless we have all of our stakeholder input, or else we can end up building a system that doesn't meet the requirements. Okay. C is incorrect because while escalation might eventually be necessary, the guide suggests first, like I mentioned, to try and navigate the challenge collaboratively. And D is incorrect because the guide doesn't suggest abandoning projects due to collaboration challenges. Okay, we might abandon projects because of sunk costs and financial decisions, but not necessarily due to collaboration. Okay. Number 4, a large corporation has decided to establish a business analysis center of excellence. The leadership team is debating where to position the COE within the organization. Based on the PMI guide, which of the following statements is most accurate? The business analysis COE must always be a part of the project management office. The COE should be an independent entity separate from all other departments. The positioning of the business analysis COE doesn't matter as long as it exists. And the business analysis COE could be a part of the PMO or reside in a different functional area entirely depending on the organization. Okay, this one may be a bit obvious. The answer here is D. So anytime you kind of have these scenarios where you see words like must or should, they're typically going to be incorrect in the sense that PMI really encourages us to be flexible and to tailor our approaches to the organization. So, like it says here, D is correct because the guide states in some organizations, support organizations for business analysis are a part of the PMO. In other organizations, they reside in different functional areas. So this indicates, like I said, flexibility. So just remember that. Tailoring and flexibility, really important as you go through this exam. Okay. Going to hit on some kind of quicker hit ones here. We're going to talk about some of the enterprise environmental factors, which is a big part of Chapter 2. Which of the following is not listed as an example of an enterprise environmental factor external to the organization? Besides memorizing these, I do think it's just important to be aware of these as you're doing your business analysis activities within your organization, right? You want to be thinking, okay, what are the external things that influence this product that we're building? Okay. So we've got marketplace conditions, social and cultural influences, organizational culture, legal and contractual restrictions. So which of the following is not external to the organization? That's going to be C. C is going to be internal to our organization. So as a BA, when we're listing out those internal factors and those external factors, the marketplace conditions, the social and cultural influences, legal and contractual requirements, those are going to go here under external. And internal, we'll have those things like our organizational culture. Okay. What does the guide suggest about the impact of EEFs on business analysis? EEFs only impact the project, not the product. This one, not going to be true, as we know that we're very much concerned about the product as BAs. EEFs have no impact on business analysis processes. Not going to be true. We definitely has an impact on our business analysis processes. Some aspects of business analysis are fairly independent of the EEFs, while others are highly dependent. That is probably generally going to be true. all aspects of business analysis are equally impacted by EEFs. So the correct answer here is going to be C. C is correct because the guide states that some aspects are fairly independent of these influences and others are highly dependent. So just in general, need to be aware of how EEFs can or cannot impact our business analysis activities. Okay, going to introduce something we haven't talked about yet, but definitely present here in Chapter 2, OPAs, Organizational Process Assets. What is the purpose of organizational process assets in business analysis? Are they to replace environmental factors, to influence how business analysis is conducted, to focus solely on external factors, or to ignore historical information from past projects? The answer here might be a bit obvious. It is going to be B. B is correct because the guide states that OPAs influence how business analysis is conducted. A is incorrect because OPAs really complement EEFs. They don't replace them. C is incorrect because OPAs are internal to the organization, not focused on external factors. D is incorrect as historical information is actually an important part of OPAs. Okay, so those can include things like, for example, lessons learned. That could be an OPA for us. Okay. Go to number 8. Which of the following is not listed as a category of organizational process assets? Business analysis processes, policies and procedures, corporate knowledge bases, team and subject matter expert data, external market research data. So once again, answer probably obvious here. The external market research data, that is in EEF. These other things like how we conduct business analysis, the processes and procedures and knowledge bases, and even team subject matter expert knowledge, that will be that'll all fall under this category of OPAs. Okay. Next we'll move number 9. What does the guide say about the relationship between business analysis and the project lifecycle? Okay, this is a good question here. Business analysis is only conducted in predictive life cycles. Not going to be true, as we know we can have adaptive and hybrid approaches. Project life cycles have no impact on business analysis. Again, not going to be true here. Project life cycles can significantly impact how business analysis is conducted. Business analysis determines which project life cycle to use. Okay, so 2 interesting choices there at the bottom, but the correct answer here is going to be C. C is correct because the guide states that project life cycles can significantly impact the names of business analysis processes, formality of documentation, when analysis is conducted, and which techniques are used. Just to give you guys an example, in the adaptive or agile approach, we might do more high-level requirements at the beginning and then prioritize them as we get closer to actually doing the development. Okay, so depending on our approach, that's going to help determine how we conduct our work as a BA. Okay, last question here. According to the guide, what is a challenge for those responsible for business analysis? To avoid using organizational process assets, to ignore enterprise environmental factors, to choose appropriate business analysis processes while working within organizational frameworks, to focus solely on project management aspects. Well, as we know, we need to definitely consider OPAs and EEFs, and we're not really focused on project management aspects. We are focused on how to do, which is why correct answer here is C, how to do our business analysis processes. C is correct because the guide states that a challenge is to choose the appropriate business analysis processes to perform in support of product development while working within the framework of your organization. Okay, so again, if you have an adaptive approach in your organization, you need to find BA processes that complement this. Again, this goes back to the tailoring aspect that PMI is really pushing. Okay. Awesome. Great work. Nice job, everybody. That is 10 questions for the PMI-PBA exam. Happy learning to you all, and I will see you in the next one.